Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. Today we are continuing our reveals of Zenkai series, and today we're talking about the last of the starter decks that we have to cover, and that is going to be Blue Trunks, one that I'm actually pretty excited about. So if you guys are new here, looking forward to this deck, make sure to stick around and to subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a Dragon Ball Super video. And if you guys want to help support the channel, there are many ways to do so down in the description as always. But today, guys, if you want to buy or pre-order any of the cards we talk about in today's video, feel free to use my link in the description to TCG Player. Really does help me out a lot. And if you guys actually are looking for sealed product for Zenkai series, make sure to check out MysticTCG.com, our team sponsor. Incredible store, incredible owner, awesome stuff there. Make sure to check them out for your sealed product. Anyways, let's jump right into this with the leader. So we have SS2 Trunks, Envoy of Justice returns. Again, another leader that I didn't really expect them to reboot because it came out in Unison Warrior and it's fairly recent, but still a pretty cool one nonetheless. They actually have to revisit this and give it some love because they messed this archetype up big time. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. So we have the same permanent on both sides. During your opponent's turn, if you would add a card from life to your hand or place it in your drop, you may reveal it and add it to your hand instead. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is actually a pretty big upgrade in the permanent compared to the previous leader, because I don't think the previous leader worked with sparking negates. I think it was like your opponent had to do the damage. Again, I could be misremembering, I could be wrong on that, but the way this reads, it seems to work if you spark a negate during your opponent's turn, if you take a regular damage, if you take critical, even if you take a burn damage, it seems like you just reveal all that life. And one, I just love the fact this leader can't be critted. That's just like super awesome. But anyways, auto on the unawakened side when this card attacks, look at top 5, add up to 1 Sand or Earthling, both blue with energy costs of 4 or less, or a blue unison with specified cost of 2 among them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. I'm loving the design of these new leaders for Zenkai, and honestly, the way they've been doing leaders over time, but I just love that this and a couple of the other leaders have these built-in search functions. That is so awesome to me. Like, I love the yellow Goku leader that just searches top 10, and I love this leader that searches for his Sands, Earthlings, and Unisons, because in this leader in particular, it's actually very important that you see specific cards to play the game, so that's a very welcome addition. Awaken, when a player's life is at 4 or less, or a player has 3 or more Z energy, meaning either player, you may draw 1 card and untap 1 energy, so the leader can pretty much never get stalled, which is awesome. Then we have auto on the Awakened side. When this card attacks, draw 1, and another auto at the end of your turn, switch 1 of your mono blue energy to active mode. This is a really cool kind of like Soul Striker SS3 hybrid, and what I mean by that is, like, you're getting energy back at the end of the turn. It's not exactly 3 energy like SS3 Reboot is, but it's also similar to Soul Striker where you can reliably tap out for bigger plays, and you know that you're not going to be completely defenseless going into your opponent's turn. So I do like this addition as well. I think on the previous leader you had to actually use the Activate main to get the untap, but the Activate main on this leader is once per turn, pay 2 blue, draw a card, then choose one of your opponent's battle cards and place it at the bottom of the owner's deck. Additionally, if you have a mono blue Z battle card with energy cost of 5 or more in play, this card gets plus 10k and double strike for the turn. So a few things about this Activate main. Obviously it's incredible, but pay 2, draw a card. Like, there are some random times where in blue decks you just don't have anything better to do with your energy, but I think with like the Z deck always being a resource you can access, that's probably not going to happen as often. But like in blue decks now, there are times where you just want a mana sink, and this could be a cool mana sink, just draw a card, kill a guy. But still, like, having the additional built-in win condition is something that a lot of these new leaders, even from the past several sets, have had, that I think is really strong. Kind of makes me wonder if they're finally gonna, you know, drop the axe on Red Champa and Red Isekai, the double strike cards. I don't think they will. I don't think they have to, but with all these leaders getting these like built-in double strike win conditions, it kind of just begs the question. But again, I doubt they'll do it, but I mean, I don't know. The consensus is we're probably gonna get a big ban list going into Zenkai, but I don't know. I could see just like some small adjustments and them not doing too much and kind of just seeing how Zenkai shakes out. But yeah, just kind of begs the question. Not sure if they will or won't, but still, this leader, just from the face of all this, looks really strong. We do have to talk about, though, the way the deck and strategy works, because the leader without context doesn't make a lot of sense. So one of the things the deck revolves around is a card like Goku, Hope for Victory, and there's also a Vegeta counterpart to this. So he's got a permanent during your opponent's turn. If all of your energy is mono blue and you would reveal this card from your life to add it to your hand, you may place your energy in rest mode instead. If you do, draw 1. So you get to ramp when you take a damage if the damage is this card or the Vegeta counterpart. At the end of your next turn, after you place this card in your energy with the skill, if this card is in your energy, place in the owner's drop area. So it's a temporary ramp, but if you play a card like Goku the Boundless, 1-drop 5k auto, if your leader's a blue Trunks future card, when this card's played, add 1 card from your energy to your hand, then place the top card of your deck in your energy in rest mode. You can basically turn that into a permanent ramp by adding Hope for Victory back to your hand. Now his auto is not going to proc because he's no longer in your energy, and you have some other ways to put him back into your life and kind of just like repeat the process, right? But they really kind of messed up the strategy with future support when they came out with Trunks Power to Save the Future. This is a card that actually had a lot of people hyped for the strategy until they found out it doesn't actually work as intended. So this is a blocker auto. If your leader's a blue Trunks Future, when this card's played, choose 2 blue battle cards in your hand and place them in your life face up. If you do, add 2 cards from your life to your hand. So you got to selectively put cards like Goku Hope for Victory into your life, but the problem is it puts in your life face up, and in the rule book, if a life is face up, it cannot be revealed. So it just defeats the whole purpose of the strategy. Probably something they kind of just didn't look at properly when designing the card, or maybe the rule was just kind of overlooked as they were designing the card. But this Trunks just doesn't work for the strategy, which is honestly really unfortunate. So hopefully this stuff can kind of redeem the strategy in one way or another. Let's look at some more of the new cards coming out. Alright, so we have a few Unisons you can play in the deck. One that's coming out in the starter deck is SSB Vegeta, Committed to Victory. So we have a 2-drop 15k Unison, which again is searchable with the leader. Auto, if your leader is a Trunks Future card and you place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of your deck, at the start of your opponent's main phase, you may add 1 card from your hand to your life. If you do, add 1 card from your life to your hand. So you get that selective ability to fix your life, but it costs you a -1 from your hand, which makes this Unison feel very unattractive. It makes me not really want to play it, to be honest. Like, I don't want to take a -1 just to set up my life when there are other cards that do it at almost no cost, which we'll see in just a second. But then we have to activate main ±0, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost of 4 or less, and place it at the bottom of the owner's deck. So this Unison does not seem to gain markers inherently, and again, the fact that the auto is a -1, not really feeling it. I don't think this will be played in competitive versions of the deck, but then we have a Unison that came out in set 10 for the original leader, Supreme Kai of Time, Unison of History. 2-drop 15k, activate main once per turn. If your leader is a blue Trunks Future card and you add 1 card from your life to your hand, at the end of the turn, switch one of your mono blue energy to active mode. So you have some built-in Self-Awaken and some untap, which is pretty cool. Activate main +1, add 1 card from life to your hand, then choose 1 card from your hand and place it in your life. So again, you get that selective life fixing. It doesn't come in face up, so it's good, and it doesn't have the downside of SSB Vegeta where you have to -1 from hand to do it. So that's pretty good there. There's also Tapion, but he's got his own problems. Auto, if your leader's a blue Trunks Future card when this card's played, add 1 card from life to hand. If you do, choose a card in your hand and place it in your life face up. So again, that face up mechanic is a big problem for this deck. The +1's okay. When your opponent attacks, choose a mono blue Future Trunks with energy cost of 2 or less in your hand and play it. So you can actually play Heroic Prospect Trunks for free with this Unison, which is going to be really good in certain matchups. It's a really cool thing, but the auto just might not be worth it. You might need Supreme Kai of Time, Unison of History to really set up your life and make sure you can ramp. But the -2 on Tapion is actually very good. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards, negate its skills for the turn, and place it under this card. That's real good against certain battle cards that do things when they're removed from the field. So, I don't know, like Vegeta, not really feeling it at all. Maybe you'll play something like 4 Kai and 2 Tapion just for that removal and ability to play Heroic Prospect. I can see that being a thing, but yeah, Vegeta, not really feeling it. Then we have a Z card coming out in the starter deck. We have SSB Vegito, Godly Spirit. 5-drop 30k, deflect, triple strike, barrier, blocker. Auto, if your leader is a Trunks Future card, when this card attacks or activates blocker, add 1 card from your hand to your life. If you do, add 1 card from your life to your hand. So again, you're getting that life fixing, that ramp fixing. At the end of your turn, switch card to active mode, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and place it at the bottom of the owner's deck, and your opponent places 1 card from their hand at the bottom of their deck. Okay, so this card seems real good. Ideally, you'll play it by like turn 4, hopefully, and honestly, on 3, you might want to be playing Boo Unison, but your Supreme Kai of Time Unison might just be too important to play Boo. I'm not 100% sure on that, but this is a deck I'm super looking forward to trying out. But anyways, then we have SSB Vegito, Paralyzing Prowess. So the question is, which I think the answer is yes, but the question is, can you evolve this over SSB Vegito, Godly Spirit? I think you can, because basically when it's in play as far as the DBSCG Direct goes, Vegito Godly Spirit is considered a battle card, so I think you can evolve over it as a Vegito with a cost of 5, but with how powerful Godly Spirit is, do you want to actually evolve over it? Because you're going to have to do that the next turn, right? But Let's read the auto on this guy because we haven't seen it in a while. If your leader's a blue Trunks future, when this card's played or attacks, your opponent chooses 2 cards in their hand and places them at the bottom of their deck in any order. So with that being the case, playing this and then swinging with it, ripping 4 cards from your opponent's hand on the turn it's played, that's real strong. I mean, I don't know. It feels like you want to sit on Godly Spirit for a long time because he generates you a lot of value over time, but maybe when you're ready to make your end game push, maybe you evolve into Paralyzing Prowess. I could see a world where that's the play line. But yeah, this just all seems really good as far as like a boss monster goes in this deck. It seems real strong. Then wrapping up, we have new cards coming out in the starter deck. So firstly, we have My Future Possibilities. We have auto. If there are 1 or more Trunks future cards in your Z energy, then when this card attacks, it gets plus 1k for the turn, making it a 1-drop 15. Activate main once per turn if there are 1 or more Trunks future cards in your Z energy. During your opponent's next turn, the first time they attack with a battle card with energy cost of 5 or more, negate the attack at the start of the battle's offense step. So I'm assuming that's just before combos. So this Mai is actually really cool at second glance because it's an activate main. So you activate main, you meet the condition, then it just applies a lingering effect. So the next time they attack, it just gets negated essentially. And this is not something they could like interrupt necessarily. They could counterplay Mai and they could stop it right then and there, but think about like the U7 matchup, for example. Like if this was like an auto, they could play something, kill it, and then just swing anyway and not care about it. But because it's activate main on your own turn, this actually will stop 1 attack going into your opponent's next turn. So that's a pretty cool thing for this card, actually. Might be one of the better ones to mess around with at the beginning of Z series. Then we have Goku Hope for the Future. 1-drop 4k permanent. During your opponent's turn, if all your energy is mono blue and you reveal this card from your life, add it to your hand, play it instead. Auto, this card's played, draw 1, so a life ramp cantrip, that's pretty cool. Auto, pay a blue if your leader's a Trunks future and it's your opponent's turn. When this card's using a combo, add 1 energy to your hand. If you do, add 1 card from your hand to your energy. So you can trip it when it gets hit out of your life, and then you combo it, and that basically gets you a permanent ramp, just like we talked about earlier with the Goku Hope to Victory and Goku the Boundless. Then we have SS2 Trunks Hopeful Strike, 2-drop 10k Deflect. If you don't have Unison in play when this card's played, play up to 1 SSB Vegeta Committed to Victory from your deck with a marker on it, then shuffle your deck. Activate battle once per turn for a blue. If this card's in a battle area and 1 or more mono blue cards are in your combo area, draw 1 card and this card gains plus 15 and double strike for the battle. Okay, this is kind of like a dumbed down version of the 4-drop Trunks that came out with the original leader. I don't think it's that great. Again, like, I don't really want to play that Vegeta Unison. It just doesn't seem very good. And only coming in with 1 marker, that just means you're not going to be able to use Godsling Technique Trunks, which is one of the best blue cards in the game. So that already turns me off from that. The Activate Battle, don't really care for it. 25 double strike on a 2-drop. Granted, it has Deflect, but yeah, this card, not so great. So overall, I think this is like the first starter deck where I've read the cards in it, and half of them are not very good. But Goku Hope for the Future looks good. The Vegito Z battle card obviously looks incredible, and the leader looks real strong. So maybe they have finally fixed this archetype. I guess time will tell on that with more testing. This is one that I'm very excited to try out. So anyways, guys, if you like this stuff, leave in the comments below what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.